aka Said Watson, representing all the cast-offs worldwide. Y'all don't know what a cast-off is? A cast-off is being who you are, even when it's unpopular, when your thoughts and what you stand for is different than the crowd. You are a cast-off, and that's what I represent. People who follow their spirit, their heart, their own mind, and not the trend or the crowd. And that's who I am, and those are the people I represent from will represent for. And today is my first day live streaming as a streamer. And so I'm doing less vlogging now and more streaming. But I appreciate everybody taking the time to tune in. But before we start, we're going to start in daily prayer. Father God, we come to you in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Father, blessing us with your word, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Father, for blessing us with the gift of today. Put on our heart, our mind, our spirit, not to do too much dwelling in the past or looking too far in the future, but understanding right now is a gift from you. Thank you, Father, blessing us with good health, a sound mind, all our limbs, all five senses, food, clothes, and shelter. Thank you, Father, for blessing us with the blessings that we don't recognize or realize that we blessed with. Father, please forgive us for every sin we committed, knowingly and unknowingly. And Father, please remove any demonic spirit that's in us or around us and convict our spirit of wrong speaking, wrong thinking, and wrongdoing. And Father, please give us the grace to go through all the trials and tribulations, losses, setbacks, demonic attacks, so it won't crush us, but instead to give us strength that pushes us closer and deep into our purpose. So, Father, please bless us and equip us with everything we need to do your will on earth as it is in heaven and work through us. Father, please bless us with your protection, your presence, your favor, your abundance, wisdom, your love, and your mercy. So, Father, please put on my heart, their heart, our mind to make the most out of today and bless this to be the greatest day of our life in Jesus' name. Amen. We on 3 different streaming sites. I think this is Instagram, this is YouTube, and this is Facebook. So before I start, I want to talk about the news. Like a lot of people from Toledo had seen me on ABC News. And so 25 years ago, I didn't know, but 25 years ago, I was on the news. And it was because of my album, the Heart of Toledo album, and a documentary I had made called On the Yard. And it basically was a story about the block I grew up called Belmont Avenue. And it gave a whole backstory, like from the gangsters from the 70s, and what they were into. And then when crack first hit the neighborhood in like 85, 86, and all the gangsters from the 70s became crackheads. And then all the gangsters from the 70s who got locked up for robberies and murders, they had came home and got introduced to crack. And so you had a whole generation of people addicted to this new drug. And and all the kids was left fatherless, motherless, and was out there just wilding, breaking in houses and just doing a whole bunch of bad stuff at 9, 10. And then other people seen these crazy young kids on this block, and it's a whole bunch of people who addicted to drugs, like common sense. Ding, 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 light bulb, $1 million plan, put the crack in these kids' hands and start serving their uncles and these killers and these gangsters on the block. And now you got a whole new generation of Belmont Avenue who became the Belmont Avenue of that day. And, and that's what led that block to become super wild. That was a generation before me, and I was a generation under them. And so that generation was our big cousins and our big brothers and the big guys. They ain't even that much older. So if we 9, they 14. And so those are our big homies and our role models. And so I gave the whole story. And then when our era, when all of them died and went to jail, how our era came and then how we end up dying out. And so it give a whole backstory about Belmont Avenue. And I had put this DVD out called On the Yard. And so the news got a hold to it in my album. And, I was, around like one of the biggest artists in Northwest Ohio at that time. I had a hit song, Ohio Player, that was on the radio all over Ohio. I can't say a hit song, but a regional hit. And so the news wanted to interview me. And that wasn't my first time on the news. That was my second time, but this one was kind of bigger. because I was really hated. And you had the preachers talking about I was a guy you hate, and people were talking about I was a menace to the neighborhood. I'm a gang member and all this. And the news took my words and twisted it, right? So I was saying, yeah, I'm a convicted felon because the police played crack on me because I had just really got out of jail because the police had planted drugs on me. But this how the news did it. It's like, it showed me like, yeah, I'm a convicted felon, and then it switched like after serving time for dealing crack cocaine. You know what I'm saying? And then the preacher said he's a hateful guy and all this. So anyway, that was my image 25 years ago. That's who I was to Toledo. And then 25 years later, I didn't even know the days and nothing like this. And so now I coach basketball from third grade all the way up to eighth grade, and I run a youth outreach. Have a we feed the neighborhood, make sure everybody eat every day, because you know we are kids out of school, and in my neighborhood, a lot of kids don't eat if they're not in school, and so it's food programs set up on the block, City Park, and the Frederick Douglass Center with Coach Doug and Ms. Leslie and Steve. They doing their thing with the program feeding. And so, you know, we got our neighborhood, you know, in sports. C-Dog got them in football. And they getting fed. And so that's who I am today. And, you know, I know y'all see a lot of times on social media how I lead the neighborhood in prayer. I get all the people we did game meetings with and the people who I would call on like, man, we got beef with the other side of town. But no, I'm calling them now like, hey man, let's pray over the block and let's do this. And so now I'm leading the neighborhood in prayer and giving the 7 principles all through the neighborhood. If you don't know the 7 principles, principle 1, put God first. Principle 2, doing others you want done to you. Principle 3, we're here to serve. Principle 4, we reap what we sow. Principle 5, unity, step in faith, and self-accountability. And so that's what I teach to the neighborhood. And so that's what I'm doing now. And so it was like a 25 year ago, this is who he was, and they showed a picture of me, my hat broke to the right. You know, I was and then they showed me now with long hair, you know, with my son. Well, they ain't show my son, but I was with my son. And shout out to the lady who I don't watch the news, but Imani, you know, and so she wanted to interview me, and it was just dope. And so that's what I was on the news for. And you know, a lot of people hit me up, and a lot of people was like, I didn't know what happened to Prophet because, you know, I mean, I'm still Prophet to everybody. That's my name. Not saying I'm a prophet, but that been my name for life. But since my whole life. But my social media is all said Watson now. So a lot of people lost touch with me and I don't rap no more. And so they're like, oh, that's what happened to him, you know. And so it brought a whole bunch of people who listen to my music now. Now they come and tuning in to watching me speak. But that's what happened on the news, right? And so that was my second time on the news 25 years ago. And people like 25 years ago, yeah, I'm 45 years old. And so 25 years ago, I was 20. You know what I'm saying? I was a gang member. And so, yeah, and some people are like, man, you look younger now than you did back then. Because I'm living a way more, I was under a lot more stress back then, you know. I didn't have Christ in my life like that. I knew God, but I didn't, you know, I wasn't living I didn't have that Holy Spirit within me who helped me get through all the trials and tribulation like I do now. I had to face all that head on, thinking I know everything. But the first time I was on the news, it was because this video I had called Block Life, right? My guy named Hood, he had a show in Dayton, Ohio called Hood TV. And so they had like videos of people from Dayton, Ohio. But he is originally from Toledo, Ohio, but he moved down to Dayton. And he liked our music from Toledo. So he put our music videos on their channel. And the Block Life video, now you gotta realize this is in '03. Nobody really had guns on their videos showing gangs and fighting. Like my stuff was, I just sit on the block all day with the camcorder, give people the camcorder and document everything and then put it in my videos. Not like, okay, let's get guns out, let's fight. No, we ain't. I just documented what went on Belmont. So if you seen somebody making a crack sale, that was a real crack sale. If you seen a female like showing her vagina on camera, you seen the dude getting head from a crack thing, that was all real. You know, if you seen somebody climbing up a telephone pole, hooking up a illegal cable, that was real on my videos. And so that got on there. That was on Hood TV, unedited. I guess the mayor daughter seen it and showed her dad. And they said, what is this? Man, they snatched they canceled my homeboy whole network. You know, and they the news had showed me in Dayton, Ohio, and then Toledo reached out to me like, "Hey man, you all over the news, all over Ohio. Can we get an exclusive interview?" And I said, "Yeah." At one point, I still got a black bandana on my head, everything. They popped up when I did a news interview, and like the lady admits, she was like, "I was scared to do the interview because of your reputation and your image. We heard so much negativity about me, and even though I was a negative person and I was doing everything wrong under the sun, I never been no vicious, real malicious person. I still had the same personality. I still talk like this, I still cared about my neighborhood and stuff like that. And so I just didn't care about the other side of town. That's a different, like, I really cared about my own. But and so she interviewed me and she was like, "You a real likable guy." Her name was Tiffany Tarpley. I don't know where she at now, but that was my first time on the news. And then I did the news interview I was just telling y'all about. And then my third time on the news is when the Nazis came in '05. It was right after my ABC News interview, and MySpace was the popular thing. And so I reached out to everybody like, "Man, we not about to let these Nazis march through the neighborhood. Somebody taking on black street gangs." So we all came out there, and the Nazis giving a hate N-word speech and all this, right? Hold on one second. Hello. I know, I was just talking stuff. Man, I don't. I wanted to play though so we could get a win, but get a good game. But hey, y'all know I canceled it for the weather. It's all good. Cancel that, bro. I mean, if they want to cancel it, cancel it. Man, we'll take the loss, man. We ain't won the game, bro. It's all good. Yeah, but if they want to play, we'll play. If they want to cancel, we'll cancel. Okay, for sure. Yep. That was Moan for the Beasley asking, "Do we want to cancel our basketball game?" Hey man, our little team ain't won the game. They team ain't won the game. I hope they don't cancel. That's a beatable team, so we can get a win. But yeah. But the Nazis had came to Toledo, and so if y'all don't know me, I've always been a revolutionary kind of guy. I believe I was born to be a Black Panther, but I was born in a different era where the Black Panthers didn't exist, and I was born. I was born in the gang. I didn't go to a neighborhood and join the gang. I was born right there. The gang started in my house. The gang started on my block by my family and by my people. Like, it was right there. And so you have a choice. Everything is a choice, but if your whole family, there's all your friends, and like this is who you grew up with. And so these is your friends, all these, and they are 6, 7, 8. They in this gang, your uncle, everything. And this is the color we wear. This is the way we were at. This is our culture. And those people on that side of town don't like us. And so when I'm 7, those people over there come and shoot up our house, killing our big homies and stuff. And so you just have a hatred for those people. So you just born in it. And that's like, that's what I am. You know what I'm saying? Southside Belmont Avenue. So anyway, I put that aside because I got Black Panther Party tattooed on me because I was always still a reader and stuff like that. So when the Nazis came, we put our difference to the side. And so you had the preachers over there, the church people, you had the We Shall Overcome people, the civil rights people, and you just had a lot of that out there. We shall overcome. Then you had us, the gang members, and then you got me, a half Black Panther, half gang member who just run on heat all day. Just got a fire burn in me where I'm always up tempo and ready and like just so. Anyway, it was a dude. So the Nazis like a half a mile away, but in the middle of them it's just all police. They in cars, on horses, everything, right? So this one dude take a brick and throw it, try to hit the Nazis, but it falls short. I'm like, oh my God, we could reach them. And I played baseball growing up. I'm left-handed. So I pick up a brick, woof, and when all the police hit the Nazi, boom. Man, other people like, oh my God. They picking up bricks, throwing them, because we couldn't get to them. The police was started, so we just throwing bricks, hitting the Nazis, boom. The police trying to grab us. What? And so at this time, I already went to jail for the police playing crack on me. Police had, like I told you, our big homies was getting killed. So the police killed my cousin Dion. Dion was 18 when I was like 11, 12. And then they killed Fred, which was like our cousin. He wasn't blood. Him and my sister ended up dating and having a baby, which is my nephew, Little Fred. The police killed him like a month later. That's why I said my son grew up on the corner. Fred, Quincy, and Dion died the same month. Yeah, the police killed Dion and Fred on different occasions, both in hotels. One was 18, one was 19. And so I had it out for the police. I already they plant crack on me and everything. I wasn't no crack dealer. They plant crack on me. So boom, we throwing bricks at them. So the police then grab one of them weak ass and the police. They beating us up. It's like we ain't going today. We've been like we ain't going today. And so a full-fledged riot break out. They got me on the news with the bricks. They got me. I'm on CNN. Wilding. My granddad lived in Pensacola, Florida. Eli Watson. He dead now. And so he never liked me, man. He never liked me. So he called from Pensacola, Florida. He said, I'm watching CNN. It's on CNN. It made the craziest riot, the craziest thing that happened in the world that year. He said, I'm watching Bin Laden go off the TV. Then I see you. Boy, you're still a fool. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how big the riot was. It's still on YouTube to this day. And so, yeah, that's what happened. Police was looking for me real tough. It was an officer Preston. I just seen Preston the other day. He said, "Is that Prophet? I didn't recognize you with your." Now I ain't seen Preston in 20 years because I've been gone. I've been in Atlanta for 8 years, and I look the same, but I think my presence is a little different. I was a little more angry back then, and so he said, "Man, what you been up to, man?" I said, "Man, I just came back to Toledo." And he was like, "Oh, you came home." He thought I was in prison. I said, "Nigga, I wasn't in prison, nigga, I was in Atlanta." And he was like, "Man, I just knew you was gonna die or go to jail." Because, all right, it's a backstory. So Preston was looking for me after the riots, talking about he gonna give me a one-on-one fight because I was hitting his fellow police officer with bricks and I caused a whole riot. And so the police hated me after that, And so, and I always dissed the police. I used to make so many anti-police songs. And so the police hated me. So that kind of led to them playing crack on me. But yeah, that was the third time I was on the news, and they just kept changing my words around, and so I said I never go on the news again. So let me get back. So me doing an interview on the news, it was just this little girl. She was a little she ain't no little. She was grown, but she was little. Like she got to be like 14. Her name is Imani Jackson. I mean, a very pretty young black woman, and she's like, "Can I interview you?" I was like, "Yes." You know what I'm saying? Because we was having a conversation, and she liked how I was speaking, and she was like, yeah. And I said, "I'll do the news. I'll do it," And it was on 4th of July, and they aired it on the 5th. And so that's how I got back on the news, and that's the backstory of, why that post was so big on my Facebook 25 years ago. That's who I was. So a lot of people getting introduced to me. That's the backstory, why people love that story so much. That's what was going on with me on the news 25 years ago. And then 25 years later, this was me on the news. So I made a short story very long, but hey, man, I'm a streamer now. So bear with me. Belmont Avenue. I gave y'all a little backstory about Belmont Avenue, but that's where I grew up. And so I'm from the south side of Toledo, Belmont Avenue. If y'all don't know what Belmont Avenue is, Belmont Avenue probably been by far been the worst street in Toledo since the 60s. And so let me give y'all a little backstory about Belmont Avenue, the history. In the 50s and in the 60s, it was all a Polish neighborhood, not a black person in sight. My granddad is from Burnt Corn, Alabama, and my grandma's from Monroeville, Alabama. Like, those are two little slave plantation cities in Alabama. They same city for both Monroe County. And my granddad grew up on a slave plantation there. They still had it out, my grandma and them people still had a slave plantation house. It's a slave plantation they grew up on. So anyway, my granddad went to a war. I don't know what war it was, but he grew up on that slave plantation. It was still under Jim Crow law. Like, what I'm saying? Basically a slave. He grew up a slave, and he didn't know nothing outside of picking cotton and Slavery. So anyway, he went to war and seen the world. And he said, like, damn, it's more in life than getting the whip on your ass and getting called nigger and getting lynched. And so he went back to Alabama. He said, I got to get up out of here. So he had a sister who left Alabama, my Aunt Jeanette. She was living in Detroit. So my granddad came, couldn't find a work in Detroit. And he came and worked for a company called Sears in Toledo, Ohio. And so he was there working and he stacked his bread up and he moved to a place called Belmont Avenue, right? Belmont Avenue, all Polish. So he moved in, bought his wife from Monroeville, Alabama, and all the white people left. One nigga moved in, white people left. Basically gave him the house next door dirt cheap, the house next door to that dirt cheap, and he turned one of his co-workers on, Mr. Joe, onto a house across because they left. They abandoned the neighborhood, they ain't went around black people, and so he lived over there. And so, and then I want to say the Blackmans and the Townsends and the Mays moved in, and then they started robbing the white people and killing the white people and raping the white people, and the white people, boom, Squeaky Townsend still tell a story how him and his brothers, or him and his brother, killed a white lady, and they went back in there raping her corpse and stuff like that. The brother just got out at about 50 years. Squeaky did years, and the other dude they didn't tell on, he ended up dying. He's still but listen, this ain't me telling, this is public record. He went to jail for it. They home. Another guy killed like 2 white people. You got my next door neighbor Lucky. He stabbed a white man 52 times, and it was just a lot of beef between the whites and the blacks over there, and they got up out of there and left the whole neighborhood. And then you have the South Side bitches, little niggas, man. Niggas destroyed the neighborhood. For real. And so that was before my time. That's in the 70s and the 80s. 70s. So all those killers and robbers and stuff like that, they were heinous. All them people from the 70s went to jail for like multiple robberies and rape. They was psychopaths. They weren't gangsters to me. They think they gangsters, but y'all was rapists. Ain't nothing gangster about raping and stabbing people 50 times, robbing old women and stuff like that. That's what they was on. So in 19 Belmont Avenue in the south side of Toledo came. And so all the ballers who was snorting cocaine tried this new drug called crack and was mixing in their weed, and they got addicted to crack, and then they was Pookie on New Jack City. They was that man on Menace Society like, hey, man, I got cheeseburgers. They was the, man, I suck your dick. The cool guys became that. And all the killers and the robbers and all them who was doing all the strangling and killing and just coming home from the strangling and killing and robbing, they got introduced to this new drug called crack. So you got these aggressive people and these gangsters and stuff like that addicted to crack. So those are crackheads. I'm now 5 years old. It's 1985. So this ain't the old shriveled up crack. Like, these are aggressive men. And this is a new drug, right? So that's what I grew up in. So when I'm 4 and I'm 5, this is what's going on outside. So my homeboy Squeaky, he was telling me how he got addicted to crack. He said they was saying like, listen, man, Squeaky had just came home, and somebody said, shit, man, this get you all the women right here. I ain't had a woman in years. There. And smoked the crack. He said he couldn't stop smoking the crack and got no women. He cared about the crack more than women. that's what he told me. But anyway, me and my cousin was having a conversation and about growing up on Belmont, and I was like, I was scared all the time at 5. It was just crazy. Everybody talking to themselves. You go down, there was 2 stores. One was on this corner and one was on this corner. You go to this store, you had this man across the street beating up. Like, he walking. I'm just scared. It's just crazy people everywhere. It's a man kicking a tree. Running from him. And then I see this dude walking and then beat his wife up. He got a lump on his head. She done hit him with a brick when he fell asleep. Running everywhere. So I go down to this store. A dude jump out the window. I'm dead. So if y'all think I'm lying, man, listen, man, I'm gonna bring somebody on and listen. Guy jump out the window. He do it every day. They chase me. He run down the street butt naked. Eyes this big, perm, slick to the back, white lips. Ah, they chasing me. Ain't nobody chasing him. I'm thinking he chasing me. I'm run down here. He go, running from him. I'm like Home Alone, bro. I'm like Macaulay Culkin's on Home Alone. Like, everywhere I go. He kicking the tree. He beating up his girl. I go down there. He jumping out the window. Like it's just everywhere I go. And my cousin was like, "You grew up in the crack era, and that was a new drug." And then I didn't know this, and it was like, and then it was a nut house down the street on the other end of Belmont. So you dealing with mental patients getting addicted to crack. And so that's what was going on. That's what I was raised in. That was my earliest memories of Belmont Avenue, right? So as crack keep affecting these killers and these robbers and these mental patients, they getting weaker and smaller and littler and stuff like that. And then my cousin E, he 5 years older than me, and then the Fred Quincy, who I said Fred Quincy and Dion died the same month, so they all like 12 and 13, and the Corey Blackshears and the Kimbos and all them. They young teenagers, they 13, so we 7, 8, or 6, 7, 8. They 10, 11, 12. So there ain't no men around in front of them, and the block is left to them, and it's just all crazy crackheads. But it's a gold mine. It's just people who smoke crack, and nobody sell it to them on that block. So these kids took over, and that was the first generation of the Belmont gangsters as we know it today. So I'm second generation Belmont. They first generation. It's a generation before them, but man, they were rapists and stabbing people 100 times. Like that ain't where I'm from. Like, I mean, it's where I'm from, but I don't identify with that. And so, but yeah, so, and so when our older cousins could control them, they start beating them up when they got so crazy. So now we feel safe. Somebody did something to us, they gonna shoot them or beat them up. So now we finally get to live a normal life at about 6 or 7. So now we can play baseball and play basketball on the milk crate. We ain't have real baseballs and basketball courts and stuff. We was poor. So our mamas got welfare, so it's this thing called a milk crate. They used to deliver the milk in. And it was a hard crate. So we used to flip it over, get a screwdriver, and get a hammer, boom, boom, and break the bottom out, hang it on a tree or a telephone pole, put a nail in it, and that was our basketball court. That was our basketball. That's what we grew up playing. No backboard, nothing, just hooping on that milk crate. If we put on the garage, that was the backboard. Put on a telephone pole, that little pole was our backboard. And so anyway, we took a baseball, we'd get a tennis ball and a stick. And that was our baseball. When we play volleyball, we get an old basketball. It was fences in the backyard. We'd play over the fence until somebody cut themselves on the spike gate. You know what I'm saying? Honey bun tore his stuff up. And so that's what we did. And we had that was a childhood, man, the greatest memories ever. And we was all bonded by sports and fighting. That's all we did. We played basketball, baseball, and football, and fight. We love fighting. We weren't even mad. We didn't have to be mad to fight. We had called other block. Hey, what y'all doing down here? Nothing. Y'all trying to meet up in the field and hit? Cool. And we meet up. They'll send one. We'll send one. And at the beginning, I will always get picked first because if y'all look at my eyes are brown, right? And I'm brown skinned. And so everybody else on Belmont was like, you know what I'm saying, looked like more aggressive than me, you know what I'm saying, and they didn't have brown eyes, so people thought I was soft. And then the older dudes made me cry, they called me pretty eyes. Like, pretty eyes, oh man, I wanted to be tough, I wanted to look rough. You know, I never wanted to be no pretty boy. Like you know, all our big homies was robbers and gang. Wasn't no pretty boys, it was robbers and gangsters. Well, Dion was a pretty boy. He was like Rico and Paid in Full. He used to rob people and say he was too pretty to wear a mask. But I didn't want to be a pretty boy. Like, I was mad because I was brown skinned. I wanted to be darker because everybody else was dark skinned, more aggressive looking, and didn't have brown eyes. I always had a bad. I'm 45 years old, and so just imagine when I'm 10 how young I look. So so I was the one. So we send the people out to fight. They wanted to fight me, but that's why I had to be overly tough. So I was actually a good fighter. So that's what we did. We played sports all day. We met up and fight. If we wasn't fighting another block of Belmont, we'd go fight the projects or we'd go fight Buckingham. We just fought all the time. Not mad. Nobody picked up a gun or stabbed nobody. We was 9, 10. We just like to fight and play sports. And so that was all our friends. Our friends in that era it was me, Dante, Momo, Laurel, Jimmy, Baby Dolphin, Cube, Stickman, Novacek, Louis, Smoke, Kenny. A lot of other people came and went, but at that time that was our immediate circle of friends. And so that's what we did. And stuff started changing when they started putting crack in our hands. I never forget this guy named DG Lee. DG Lee just went to jail for murder last week. So when I was 8, DG Lee, so I wanted to sell crack so bad, right? I wanted to sell crack so bad. Me and Laurel watch E cook up crack. As soon as they leave, we'd take the baking soda. We knew it. We'd rock up baking soda and all kind of stuff. We'd cook up crack. I learned how to cook up fake dope. We used to take women Midol, put it on a spoon, melt it, put butter on it, and you could sell it to people who smoke crack. They could smoke and everything, just won't get them high, and they just think it was bad drugs. So we were selling that, all kinds of stuff at like 8. And DG was like, man, listen, you want to sell crack for real? I'm like, yeah. And so DG, we used to sit in a house, and when a customer come to the window, he'd send me out there, and I'd serve him and give him the money. He'd give me $1. You know what I'm saying? Then like, it got so after like, it's how much dope he sold. I had $100 just like in a couple hours. That's how many people and then he like, let me get 60 of that. So he took 60. So they gave me $40 for a whole day running for him. And so I was doing that for like a week. So I had like $300 and I had took it to school. I never forget. If I think I'm like ask Little J, ask anybody, right? And so no, it's not in Bronx. I know you talking about the movie Belmont Avenue, the Bronx Tale. No, I'm from Toledo, Ohio. That's why I like the Bronx Tale so much because like they on Belmont Avenue. Nah, my neighborhood is predominantly black. You didn't see white people, Italians, Mexicans, none of that. Bronx Tale was like Italian neighborhood on in the Bronx. But nah, only white people you seen was the police. And you see them run forward, run. But anyway, and so so Lil J like, man, where you got that money from? He's like, let me count it. I let him he count my money in the lunchroom. And Miss Robinson took it like, where you got this money from? Lil J like, boop, gave it back to me. And so I had to get up. She counted the money, asked me where I got it from. I can't remember what I said, but that became a legendary story. Like, man, this dude had a whole bunch of money. It wasn't that. It was like $300, but it was all ones. So it looked like a lot of money. And it's like coming from drug addicts. So it's all crumpled up and make it puff up a little higher. So anyway, then DG ended up going to jail. And he came back years later, and then 2 of the big guys from the block who I mentioned, they ended up shot him up real bad, left him for dead. He appeared again, then he came back 20 years later, and then he killed somebody. So that's the first person put dope in my hand. I was 8. Gene was a Cube, God bless his soul. Cube, by the time we was 10, Cube was playing with $100,000. He was Stickman had a lot of money. He was already selling dope. Dolphin was already like, so by the time we turned 10, Dolphin was already he was selling dope with Irv and end up start being a stick up kid, robbing everybody. So this is like 9, 10. And so our sports phase started kind of, you know what I'm saying, started getting in the streets. You had some people who went, like Dante went straight basketball. But us, like we're still in sports, but we still participated in everything else. Gene and Dolphin, they was 20% sports, 80% streets. I was 50-50. Momo was 20-80, and it was but by the time we hit about 13, Cube and Dolphin Dolphin was a full-time robber. Cube was the man. That's why I said my son, I grew up on the corner. OG's all locked up. Cube is the man now. And so I want to say like 11 or 12. All the older guys, pew, they all died and they all went to jail. They all died and went to jail. And so just like the older guys before me, it wasn't nobody on the block but crackheads. It was our generation now. And Q was the man now. Dolphin was the goon. And then Lil J, and then more people started coming, and Bun, and you know what I'm saying, because Fred died, Quincy died, Fred died. Fred, Quincy, and Dion died the same amount. Fred, Quincy, and Dion died. E went to jail. Juicer went to jail. Kimbo went to jail. Rob went to jail. Corey Blackshear went to jail. Everybody just went to jail and died. And so we wasn't nobody out there but us. And so it became it's still a game block, but it became a real like Cube was the man, and he started throwing these parties and he's swinging lanes and with 20 inches, and now about so the 90s coming on and Cash Money come out about 98, and that's the era transitions into this money era, and that's when I picked up a microphone. That's when I picked up a microphone, and I basically told the Belmont story. You know, but before I get there, I'm gonna tell you what changed Belmont for our generation. Man shot Timmy, now I'm carrying the strap now. So when I'm about 11, 12, we doing what we always doing. We fighting. We starting to carry guns now, but we ain't using them on each other. Because I had a gun. I went to Robinson Junior High, right? So I got put out of Pickett, got put out of Stewart. So I got banned from the whole district. I had to go to Robinson Junior High, which is a blood school. It's on the north. And so I used to have to walk home through Smith Park, and that was our rival. They wanted to kill me. And I used to get into it a lot up there. And so I had to carry a gun, I had to carry a gun. And it got serious with that gun. You know what I'm saying? I stole my cousin Ham 380. The walk home was dangerous through Smith Park. They chased me, but I stopped that when I stole Ham 380. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, I had to prove Kurt not in me. I knew it was serious when man shot Timmy. Now, I told you everything I used to rap was 100% real. So, man shot Timmy. I ain't gonna get all the details. But as a fight broke out amongst friends, and the gun came out, and man shot Timmy about 5-6 times in the chest, shot Charles on an accident. And now the fighting days is over, fun and games. Belmont Avenue, everybody picking their friend, picking their group. Everybody got guns. We better not fight no more because you might die behind it. So all the basketball playing together is over with. Straight gangster mode now. Life changed forever. Blood got shed amongst us out the same crew. And it put a stripe. You pick this crew or this crew, and everybody kind of, even though we still childhood friends and still carry them memories, it's still a kind of, it's my crew, your crew. We dap up, shake up, but it's still, yeah. And now Belmont is being formed with crews in our area. And so that was the end of childhood. When man shot Timmy, childhood was over with. Even though we did everything grown under the sun, so dope and all that. But when man shot Timmy, everybody grew up. Man went to jail about 9 years for that. And he was probably about 15, so he did basically his whole childhood in jail. Timmy, after that, stopped coming around. Dolphin heart turned all the way cold. Timmy was his brother. Dolphin ain't like nobody. Like, he liked us. But the people who was involved with that, they never, even though they were still cordial a little bit after that, he ain't like them no more, for real. It was over with. And Belmont was divided. And everybody grown now, and everybody, that childhood glitter was gone. Everybody, Nipsey also said something so real. In the song, he was like, our face is now stuck now. I forgot what he said, but I know that. I know that when people start getting killed, everybody's facial expressions and demeanors change. And when you start getting a gun and knowing you might have to use it, or you use it and know you will use it, it changes your demeanor. And so it changed. Everybody's demeanor changed. It wasn't no plan no more. Like, man, people kill you now. Who you grew up with will kill you. Know your mama and everything. And so life changed on Belmont Avenue when man shot Timmy. That's why that song I grew up on the corner is so real. My verse, man shot Timmy, now I'm carrying the strap now. That's the same song I said Fred Quincy and Dion died. I said a lot on that song. I know people just bobbing like that's my most popular song. They singing along. But that song showed the real Belmont story, bro. For real. Man shot Timmy, now I'm carrying the strap now. I carried a gun for the rest of my childhood after that. I ain't play. Don't play with me no more. And I wouldn't even know, no super tough guy or the goon or the out, but don't play with me. Don't play with me. For real. Cause I know I could fight. And so the kids I was beating up, man, they got guns now and they would kill me if I put my hands on them. And so nah, and they knew that and I knew that, so don't play with me. And it started with man shots at me. And so yeah, that was our era. That was our era. And then like, you know, under us, our era, like I told you about Fred who got killed, he had a son by my sister. That's little Fred. Quincy had a son. That's little Quincy. Little Fred got life in jail. Like little Fred dead. Quincy got life. All their friends dead. So the generation before me gone, our generation gone, and the generation under us gone. Um, Fred and them story was more of a movie than ours because they was in gang wars more than us. We had gang beats, but at the end fast, we was more respected. Them, they ain't getting no money. They was just straight gang bang. They grew up in the Chief Keef era. They grew up in the Chief Keef era. And that was like, Chief Keef era is one of the worst things ever happened to black people because it took, gangsterism out and put everybody on devil time, demon time. Everybody's self-proclaimed demons. And when you a demon, you operate for the devil for real. And so, a whole war broke out about Fred. So the North Side made a song. I never listened to the song. I just hear it, I heard about it. Somebody played a little bit. I made them cut it off. It was a girl too. That's how my mind, my spirit was evil at that time. And so a girl was playing that. I don't know if she was trying to be disrespectful to me, but they were saying fuck our dead relatives and stuff like that. And I told her, man, I'll smack your face off your shoulder if you play that song. And she cut it off. She's a little girl too. And I meant it. And she seen I wasn't playing. I wouldn't be like that today, but I keep telling y'all, like, when people close to you getting killed and you in the wars and it's frontlining, it change you. A demon get on you, in you. So anyway, my nephew Fred. So they make a song, and so I don't want to open up cases and stuff like that. So I ain't gonna get to. Anyway, they get killed. Somebody get killed for making a song. The wrong person, everything. It was just stupidity. And so we thinking for retaliation they killed my nephew. Whole war break out. People die. I keep saying every war, when there's a whole bunch of killing, be over a lie. Over a lie. The war in Iraq, they said that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. There wasn't no weapons over there. Lie. Watch the movie Game of Thrones. All that stuff was over a lie. Every war be over a lie. So we going to war with the North Side, the Bloods, thinking they killed Fred. The whole South Side came together. Everybody, the Rec Squad, Belmont, the Nine, Tecumseh, the South End, and went to war. And all them connected, from Stickney to Bar to the man. A real war broke out. A lot of innocent people died. Come to find out it was a lie. The Bloods never killed Fred. It was a guy from right down the street who Fred took his gun and he killed Fred. And they was the whole time riding for Fred cause. The whole time they know they did it. That's a damn movie, bro. And so years come on. Now, Belmont at war with them. More killing and more killing and more killing. Then my nephew, now Fred and them, all them dead. Now my next nephew, Day eating out the court. Now they involved in killing and killing and killing. Now Day in the middle of this stuff. And they having a shootout. I don't even know if it's an accident or not, but his friend killed him. And they lie. And so people going to beef with these people, more shooting, and the whole time his friend killed him. Showed up to the funeral, smiled in our face, hugged us, ate with us, everything. The whole time you killed Day. Man, you can't tell me this Belmont story is not a movie, bro. You cannot tell me this Belmont story is not a movie. And so they whole generation end up getting wiped out. Now the South ain't beef with the North. The South is at war with the South Side. Everybody dead from Belmont to Tecumseh to the wreck. Now you walk through the south side of Toledo, it look like a nuclear bomb hit it. It ain't a soul over there. Everybody dead. Everybody in jail. And it just look like a war-torn country. And you can still feel the demonic spirits and just the deadness. And everybody who not from over there say they ride through there just feel it. It just look like a place where a war happened, where a lot of death. You go the other side of Toledo, I drop kids off on my team who live out Stickney and all these areas, and it's just like full of life and the cherry woods. There's people over there. You go through that south side, it look like a bomb didn't hit it. It's just a war-torn place, and nobody won. Everybody is dead and doing life in prison. And that's what happened to the south side. And that's the Belmont story. That's the Belmont Avenue story. Nobody made it out. Everybody died. And so, somebody said, what happened to black people? And what happened to our black culture? It was this white TikToker. And she was saying, I don't dislike black people because of their skin. I hate their culture. I hate when they come around, they're too loud, they want to be seen. Everywhere it goes, it's going to be fighting and shooting and all that. She said, it's the culture people hate. And rude awakening white lady, y'all don't even want to feel like that. We feel like that, man. We can't stand niggas either. That's why I go to the movies early. I don't want to hear no nigga talking, putting his feet on my chair, texting. And, man, black people don't like niggas either, bro. So, it is our culture. Our culture is the problem. Wherever it's niggas at, it's going to be some dumb shit. And so, what happened to our culture is the big thing right now. What happened? What happened to black people? What happened to black culture? Because it's not black culture anymore. I think 3 of the biggest things ever happened to black people. Number 1, slavery. Slavery. Because you took a human being and you made him basically chattel, a horse, a cow, a pig, not a human. Anytime you could take one human and another human and breed them and sell their kids, they basically dogs to you, you know? And so you strip them from their country, took their language, everything, and you bring them here and you made them animals, basically. And so in the Virginia colonies, the slaves was running away, rebelling, having uprise, killing their holders. So a guy named Willie Lynch had this theory, the Willie Lynch theory. It got to be more mental and spiritual than physical, because these are your property. And so when you kill them and keep hanging them and beating them, you messing your money up. We need when the work, nigga, work. It's a misperception that all white people own slaves. Slavery is a rich man's sport, so 1% of them own slaves. The rich white people. Whole Southern economy was built on the slave trade. Whole American economy was built on the slave trade. The slave houses look just like the White House. The slaves built the White House just like they built the slave plantation owner's home. I just visited the slave plantation in Roswell, Georgia. I put it on YouTube and everything. So, but anyway, Willie Lynch said, listen, you gotta play spiritual and mind games with them. First, you gotta make them believe you are superior and make them believe they inferior. How do you do that? You make them self-hate. Make them think everything about you is God-like and everything about them is inferior. You make them self-hate. You make them hate their dark skin. Make them hate their big nose, their big lips. Make them hate their nappy hair. Make them hate everything about each other and themselves and make them love you. Start petty quarrel amongst them. Start dividing them, and you come and you settle the quarrels. And so you turn the dark slaves against the lighter slaves. You turn the house slaves against the field slaves. You turn the old slave against the young slave. You turn the men against the women, the skilled slaves against the field workers. You just turn them against each other, start petty quarrels, keep them divided. Make the south side of the plantation hate the north side of the plantation. Just keep them divided and you stop the petty quarrels. And if you apply these things right, you can control their mind. Even if they're free, hundreds to thousands of years if you apply this principle right. You can't tell me they don't apply them principles right, because to this day, the light-skinned people think they better than dark-skinned people, and dark-skinned people don't like light-skinned people. The South Side, my side, me with my slave mindset, I don't like the other side. It's a slave mindset, and they don't like us. You feel me? And so it's a slave mindset. The black women, I hate, they don't even refer to us as a black man. We niggas to them. I need a nigga and a nigga, and if a dick ain't 10 inches and nigga this, and they hate us. And we hate them. So we divided. The black men still hate the black women. The black women still hate the black men. The young, fuck them old ass nigga. Man, you young nigga ain't not. The young still hate the old. Man, we hate each other. We the most self-hatred race than ever, and that's why we could gun each other down with no empathy. It's a slave mindset, bro. Slavery. One of the worst things that happened to a human race. We came into this country as Africans and broke through slavery. We became a whole bunch of race of niggas. But through that, somehow we rebounded. We built our own black communities. We were skilled from slavery, slave worker. We built the churches and Black Wall Street, but we still had this self-hatred because niggas still permed it. Like it's just like, But anyway, that wasn't the worst thing. It was then. But it got worse. By that drug called crack cocaine. In our history books, we need to say America before crack and America after crack. Black people before crack, black people before after crack. The black community before crack, the black community after crack. Because crack did it. I told y'all the effects of crack in my neighborhood. But we still had love, and we still had a sense of empathy and stuff like that. Because it got worse after crack. It got worse when this new thing came called rap. It was cool at first. Hip, hop, a hippie, a dibby, and broken glass everywhere and self-destruction. But then Stride Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube, and Dope Man, and 1, 2, and gangster rap came. Everybody then bought this LA gang stuff, and it swept the world. The movie Colors. Everybody gang members. Everybody got semi-automatic weapons shooting and hating each other. And the gang stuff swept America. And so now we killing each other at an alarming rate. Then something else happened. Then the gayest place in America for black people kind of took over. And now that infiltrated our culture, the Southern stuff. And then after that, the worst thing that ever happened to the black culture, Chief Keef don't like, swept the world, and now they introduced, we on demon time. So now we away from God. Because even through the gangster rap, we still had a level of God, and it was still principles and morals. But now in the demon time and the boy on boy butt, and it's just now the devil involved now. Now King Von is self-proclaimed demons and kids talking about the demons, and the demon emojis is everywhere, and we smoking on dead black kids and stuff like that. And the people were since cheering it on. King Von, he's smoking on Tuka. And now we just demons, bro. That's the worst thing that ever happened to black people, in my personal opinion, was gangster rap. Before rap music, the gangsters stayed gangsters, and people from the outside knew their role. Now everybody want to be gay. Everything gangster we bring into the civilized world. I'm gonna tell you. For example, trapping. Man, that's drug dealer talk. Now the civilians, I'm trapping. We call that selling our business. Now we trapping. We in our business. We go to a 9 to 5 and clock in, talking about we at our trap. Everybody want to be street so bad because of rap music. Another one. Ops. Ops is some of the Chicago people, but the people you want to kill. Now we dislike somebody, now they op. Slide. What else? Another one. Trapping. A bag. A bag is getting illegal brown paper bag money untaxed. Now we call athletes, I'm getting the bag. Nigga, no, you getting a direct deposit. We want to be street so bad. And it come from rap music. A bag. Nigga, that's illegal money. Nigga, you getting a direct deposit, getting taxed. Demon time. Get out of here, bro. Why have black people been demons? And then and so I see on Facebook so many girls like, we have booty holes too. Why y'all gotta do it to each other? Because they keep catching their boyfriends fucking boys, right? Kevin Gates, he introduced the booty culture. Eating booty and they like their booties played in. That's some jailhouse stuff. Man, these dudes been in jail 10 years, getting their booty played in and playing them booties. And then they come playing them girls' booty and it's like Eve bit the apple like, oh my God, the booty feel good. And these dudes like getting their booty played in and now they made it normal. And so when a straight man be like, that's gay, the girl like, how are they gay? It's a girl booty, all right. Then they get caught in the boy booty, now they so surprised. The booty bandit culture started by Kevin Gates. And so now, this booty bandit that you don't know gay because you think booty bandit is normal, now you bring this booty bandit home and he playing in your son's butt. And now we done got another, come on, bro. It's sickening. And that's where our culture is at, bro. That's where our culture is at. You can't even for example, right? You can't tell women nothing about men. We men, bro. Man, we know. Like, a woman would never completely know a man, but you can't tell a woman that I was raised by my daddy and my brother. I know, nigga. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you talking about. Like, a man would really never know a woman for real like that. Like, you just know. Like, you just know. Like I would never, like, if a woman tell me something, but I cannot argue our woman. So we know what a man is. We men. It was this one girl, right? It was this booty bandit locked up, right? And so her people was like, hey, you know your boyfriend, booty bandit, I was locked up with him, did 10 years in the joint with him, nigga. He was stabbing dudes over, nigga, he was walking the yard holding a boy's hand. He stabbed people about his boyfriend. No, he ain't. He ate this pussy good every night. Like, shut up, you dummy. She go tell this dude, he's saying you gay. And this dude is a murderer. Thank God nothing didn't happen, but you can't tell her nothing. And then he get caught in the boy butt. Now, I got a booty too. No, he don't want your booty. He like boys. The booty hole culture. Let me stop for y'all ban me on everything. That's what, like, if y'all don't notice, I got banned already on Facebook and Instagram. So let me stop. Because I could talk about niggas dying all of you. Say something about that community. My bad. I have an iced out watch. I don't care about your iced out watch, bro. Do it look like I shouldn't even, do it look like I care about your iced out watch, dude? Do it look like I'm the type of guy who care about an iced out watch? Come on, bro. Unlame yourself, man. We men, bro. I don't care about that. Unlame yourself, bro. Please. Goofies. What my first I started losing my pages. I think the first thing I did is when Joe Biden had gave a transgender woman of the year. And I said, come on, bro. All the stuff women gotta do and deal with, raising these kids on their own, they had to go work, had to protect themselves, pay all the bills, then discipline the little boy, and then it's just a lot that comes with being a woman. And so a man could tuck his penis behind his back and get woman of the year. I think that's a spit in the face to women. And so then I made a joke out of it. I said, you know what? I'm about to learn Spanish and change my name to Hector and hope I could get Mexican Man of the Year. Man, you know, they got me up out of there. And then I made a video about dogs. Because when LPG Duck got gunned down, you know, people was cheering it on. Like, man, can you buy them savages and all this stuff, right? And then a day later, a dog get killed that attacked the person. So the man shot the dog who attacked him and killed him. And they was like, lock him up. He deserved to die. I said, man, y'all just laughed at FBG Duffy getting killed, but y'all empathize for this dog who tried to kill a human being. Dog life is worth more than black life in America. That didn't feel well with Meta. They didn't like it. And so anyway, I just had an issue with the love for dogs. When I was in Cincinnati, I seen this. So we was doing work trying to get little black babies adopted, man, the orphanages, and it was just overpacked with black babies with nobody wanted, and we couldn't find parents for them or nothing. I always been in the community, and I'm like, man, why ain't no commercials or something to get these? They're like, no, I don't fund it. That cost to go on a commercial. So I'm looking at a commercial at Cincinnati. It's about dogs. It's these dogs. Like, take some dogs. These dogs have nowhere to go. It's a tear come out the dog. How y'all get a tear in the dog eye, bro? It made me, like I grew up in a different era. I'm 45, so dogs stayed outside. You know what I'm saying? And like me growing up, everybody had dogs in their house. Now, kid to get kicked out so the dog could take their room. And dogs drinking bottled water now, but it wasn't always like that. So I see this commercial why we can't get black babies homes. It's for dogs, and the dogs tears come out of the dog eye. I'm like, oh, I had to stop out. Man, fuck the dogs. Black babies ain't got nowhere to live at. So anyway, I always was jealous of dogs because of that. And then when FBG Duck got killed and the video was still up and nobody cared and they was smoking on Tuka, but this dog attacked a man and he self-defensed on a dog and everybody hated him. I was like, man, y'all love these dogs. And then you go to Walmart, dogs everywhere, breathing all on the lettuce. Breathing all on the lettuce. Go to aisle 3, slipped on some dog pee. In the Walmart, in the grocery store. Man, it's supposed to be sanitary in this dog pee in aisle 3. Hey, we got dog pee in aisle 3. Like, come on, bro. Dogs all in the carts. All in the cart. Breathing all on the cart. Slobbing all on the thing. I gotta come to. Oh, man, come on, bro. I gotta put groceries here? Man, come on, bro. I'm so sick of these dogs. I'm on the elevator in my apartment, dog. I'm like, get your dog off me. Oh, he's just friendly. He's just anxious. He wants you to pet him. I'm petting your dog. Get your dog off me, goofy dude. So, yeah, man, I don't like that, man. Dog life is worth more than black life in America, man. And so they make me look like I'm anti-dog, like I'm a dog abuser. No, man, damn. I care about black kids, bro. I care about little black boys, not fucking dogs. Godly. And then I did go too far because I started making jokes about it. Like, I need to go in it's parts of Vietnam that eat dogs. Like shit, they cook dogs. We the only ones who put dogs on them platforms. Dogs is an animal, bro. So some countries they eating dogs, and I said I need to go to a country where they eat dogs and treat dogs like dogs. I'm not eating no dog though, but I said that, and they, the pet community came and they banned me. And then, like Dirk ran the music industry at that time. And so I did the interview with King Yella and say anything against Dirk. They'll blackball you like they did all my brothers in growth and development from Chicago, the Ducks and all of them. And, you go against them, they get your page took and everything. And so my page got took for a lot of reasons. But that's what happened to our culture. And you can't say nothing about that community. So let me tell you a story about I was living in Atlanta. Right? And so it was this club, it was a new club. And there was this tall girl in this red. I told the story a lot, but it's this tall girl with a red dress on. I ain't gonna lie. I'm in my mind like, damn, this girl pretty. Too pretty. I ain't even gonna waste my time talking to her because I know she wants some money. What do this mean? That mean y'all listen, I'm new to streaming, Did somebody give me money on YouTube? Trisha, is that, man? Thank you. I ain't know nothing about this. Man, I don't know how to accept it or nothing. Man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. But so anyways, this girl with this red dress on, dancing, right? Twerking and stuff like that, making her booty roll and all this, right? So my homeboy brother was in from Indianapolis and he just got married. And his girl told him to get all the cheating out your system, go to Atlanta, live it up. He a school teacher, a good dad, everything. So he on the girl with the red dress, all on her booty. She turn around, they tongue kiss on the floor. I'm like, oh my God. Good job, man. You going out with a bang. If you gonna do it, get your money worth. So they dancing. So I guess he done went under the red dress, thinking he about to rub a vagina, but he grabbed a pair of balls. And he hit that girl and knocked that girl out and stomped on her head. Now, at this time, I don't know that this girl got a sausage. I don't know that she has a tallywhacker. I don't know that she has a wee-wee. I didn't know that. I'm thinking it's just a girl. But she obviously had a pee-wee, and it was bigger than his. I don't know. I'm making that up. I got that on Friday. But bigger than yours. But anyway. So anyway, he ended up knocking the girl out and stomping her head. And I'm about to like, man, get off that girl. He look at me and his eyes, I seen the devil in his eye. I said, oh, I'm staying out this one. So they grab him. So the girl laid out. Man, why this girl, man, with that red dress on, man, had a penis hanging out on her knee, bro. I wanted to kick her, and I was like, you mother. Not because it was a transgender. I'm sorry. Like, I'm thinking about my own penis. I'm a straight man. You don't want yours. Why God bless you with 20 inches and bless me with this average? I'm in the red. I'm about to stump you now. Like, man, he didn't want that. And you could have gave me that. I'm about to kick him. Not because he's trying like, man, you big punk. I'm mad. I'm enraged. Why you ain't give me that, God? I'm mad. I'm looking at God like, man, I'm mad. You bless me with this average we gave this. I'm making that up so for y'all. And I see y'all mad, I'm making it up. Godly, I'm just playing. But I'm serious. But anyway, so dude's so mad, he go to this car and get a gun. He go let off a shot. Go to jail 5 years. All because a girl, dude acting like a girl. And yeah. But man, I've been on here an hour. I'm supposed to be on here an hour. But you know what? Let me wrap this up. I just want to talk about doing what you know you should be doing. Man, when you got dreams and you got ambitions and you got hopes and you got a purpose, man, you got to do what you know you should be doing regardless of how you feel. Our feelings get in the way of everything. We always offended. We always tired. We always lazy. We always procrastinate or want approval for people or waiting for the perfect time or moment and never take a step in faith to get started. We sitting there procrastinating. So sometimes we got to do what we know. If you know you need to do something, just take a step in faith and get started. No matter how you feel, if you're tired or feel you need more money or more support, or you feel like doing it, or you got to feel motivated, just do it. And then sometimes you know you should be doing something, but you worried about other people's feelings, like how they feel about it. And a lot of times we kill who we are and kill what we know we should be doing at the expense of somebody else, and we end up resenting that person. And then we end up falling out with them anyway. And we let their feelings stop us from our purpose or what we should be doing. So a lot of times you got to do what you know you should be doing even when you don't feel like it and regardless of how somebody else feel. Because a lot of times we'll let people talk us out of what God put in our heart. Don't do that. When you have a vision, don't expect people to get it. Forget your mama, forget your girlfriend, Forget everybody when it comes to your dreams. Because when you have dreams, you have a vision. And a vision ain't sight, ain't physical sight. Physical sight is this. We both could see this. This is water. We both could agree. It's a fact. This is water. We could see this. But your dreams, your vision, you could close your eyes and still see it. And nobody else can see it because that is a spiritual thing between you and God. And a lot of times we let people talk us out of what God put in our heart, worry about how somebody else feel. So today, I just told y'all the Belmont story and how I got on news and all that. But the moral to the story today is, and we're going to end it with this. Don't let people talk you out of what God put in your heart. Do not wait for other people. Once again, do not let people talk you out of what God put in your heart. Do not wait for the approval of people, the right time, or the right amount of money, because the right time will never come. You have to take a step in faith and get started. And waiting for somebody to agree with you, to do what you know you should be doing, you will lose your purpose and you won't be all you could be, and you will never be the best version of yourself. So a lot of times you have to just take a step in faith and get started, knowing that people don't understand or get what you're doing. They can't see what you see because your sight is not theirs. That's a physical sight. Y'all both can see this. You have a vision and it's spiritual. Thank you for everybody taking the time to tune in to my first streaming. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I am out.